where to begin. Everyone has a story about Margaret.
I don't think we'll ever have another person like Margaret. There will never be a second Margaret.
Margaret was quite simply one of the most extraordinary people that I've ever met.
She achieved her lifetime ambition as the first female and youngest General Secretary of the Labour Party. She organised 2 successful general elections consecutively. She made history.
An example. So everybody here, she was very, very good. She didn't suffer fools. Not at all.
She wanted what was the very, very best for the Labour Party. She was absolutely determined that Labour would be a force of good for our country, that we would win and that we would change the lives of ordinary people.
Her unyielding view that you can only make a difference if you win. But winning isn't enough, it's winning for a purpose, and that is to transform the lives of the people that we represent.
She was the best sister anybody could have, and the best friend, and the best comrade. And she gave the best advice. And sometimes the best advice isn't always the most comfortable advice. And my friend Joan Ryan once said that Margaret loved people enough to tell them the truth.
What some people don't always know about Margaret is that she was so incredibly kind and incredibly generous. And if you were ever in any kind of trouble, the person you'd want on your side is Margaret McDonagh.
She was a very good friend. She never forgot where she came from. She always made time, no matter how busy she was. She made time for you.
One of the best bosses I've ever worked for. I think there are many people walking around who don't know who she is. And I think they should know who she is, actually.
I was lucky enough to have her as my General Secretary. She was an extraordinary and wonderful human being, but she can also teach us a lot today. As we look at the next period of time, coming up to a general election, we should bear Margaret and what she stood for and what she did in our minds. Because then we've got a better chance, not just of winning, but of being a successful and great government.
Going forward, we'll be thinking, what would Margaret do? And I think that is a phenomenal legacy.
She was extraordinary, and her spirit lives on in the women that she's inspired through the pipeline. I think the phrase that Margaret always used that really resonated with me is, how do we help women find their voice? What she would encourage you to do, and the bravery that she would encourage you to take, lives with everyone.
Let's build the spirit of Margaret into everything that we do as we head into the next general election, because it can only serve us well.
Country first, party second. That was Margaret's mantra. Those words are just as important now as they were then. She was a tireless campaigner for women who never gave up on lifting people up and inspiring them to go further. Generations to come will benefit from her lasting legacy.